Welcome back. You're listening to Tracks and Turns. So now we're in Great Britain.
Yeah.
Or we're not in Great Britain, but I always say it like that because it's just like we need to be here in the present moment, and right now we're in Great Britain, even though we're not there. So we have the sprint qualifying first to discuss.
Yeah.
So I don't think there was, it was not very eventful, but usually, the sprint qualies aren't, since they are so short.
True.
Of course. But yeah, what do we want to talk about? I think Hadger was looking quite good. Again, I don't think that's news anymore. I think that's kind of...
Yeah. Also, Russell looked pretty slow.
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't know what's up with that, seeing as Antonelli was pretty fast, or was having his usual pace, while Russell was being slower than usual.
Yeah.
Which is a big question mark.
Yeah, but also we've seen throughout this season that sometimes George claws it back, in the sprint and in the races, he managed to, or in the main race quali as well. So I think we'll have to see about that. Yeah. Because I don't think it's over.
No,
to be honest. Of course. The McLarens were, at least Piastri was looking for a while quite fast. Mm-hmm. But Norris was in 10th.
Yeah.
I think he went to 8th or something, while Oscar was still in 3rd. Mm-hmm. And then he actually fell down to 10th, and we were very confused as to what was happening here, because he had not looked as quick as Oscar, but it wasn't looking that bad. And then all of a sudden, I think it was about I don't even remember if it was 4th, 10th or something like that.
Something, yeah.
So, and then we were discussing this, and then we of course saw on the playback that he lost part of his car. I think it was in the front. I'm not sure if it was on the wing or if it was on the nose, but there was something that fell off that actually caused him to lose some downforce. Yeah. Which eventually should have cost him some time. And I think it did. But yeah, we'll come to it later, that in the battle between Piastri and Norris, this was not as big of an issue as we thought.
Also, the 3 full teams that went out in SQ1 was Haas, Cadillac, and Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Which isn't a surprise. I mean, it's always Cadillac and Aston Martin, and then often it's Williams or Haas. They flip-flopping there.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I think worth to mention that Hamilton was P1 and Leclerc was P2 for this session. So it was looking quite strong for Ferrari. But also at the same time, we had been warned that Mercedes would maybe turn up a bit, they were maybe sandbagging a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but we don't know. But they were not looking especially quick in this session. Hadger was looking quick though. He was in 3rd behind Leclerc, which is
kind of
really a feat, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we like to see that.
More of those very strong finishes, I think, for Hadger, and I'm gonna start maybe saying that he is a world championship, world champion in the making. But yeah, definitely good for those 3 at least in this first session.
Yeah.
But then we move on to the second session.
I don't know what Russell was doing here, because he didn't have any pace.
Yeah, it was looking quite weird.
Yeah, it was in 8th position, while Antonelli was in 2nd, which is a huge difference.
Yeah. He was, I think, even on the way of, it was almost as if he was gonna go out in this session.
Yeah.
But he didn't. Spoiler alert, he didn't. But
it didn't happen so much in this session.
No. Yeah, once again we had I was going to say, once again, we had 6 people going out. Yeah, it's been that way the whole season. What am I trying to say? I don't know. We had Gasly, Bortoletto, Hulkenberg, Colapinto, Sainz, and Albon going out. So actually, the Williams cars managed to get through to SQ2, which I think is maybe an improvement, but we won't know about that until I guess until main quali's over as well.
Also, like Audi going into SQ2 is pretty good.
Yeah, they've been, I think,
pretty consistent.
When their cars are not breaking apart, I think they're pretty good. Also, I think there's not very much, like, it's basically the usual suspects. It's the same people, basically. Gasly in 11th, which I think we've come to think of Gasly as starting the races at least in 11th.
Yeah.
And then somehow managing to climb up to get some points. He's been, I think, in the top 10 a couple times as well. Yeah. The last car in the top 10 or something like that. And I think that's, like, mainly the things that happened in SQ2, actually. And then we have the similar, like, the thing that always happens in SQ3, I guess, that it's such a short time window that nothing really happens until, like, the last 3
and then they just went out
minutes.
for, like, 1 lap.
Or maybe 2.
Yeah,
I don't know.
2 laps.
But it depended on, I think usually you really have to send it that first lap, because you
want to have a chance
if you have
to take
softs
pole,
on, like, you're going to, like, destroy them so much that you don't have the time for a cool down lap. So I think all of them actually went out for just 1 lap, because I think it was with, like, 1.5 minutes to go or something. Yeah. Most of them went out. So 1 lap, definitely 1 lap. And this is, I think, where it maybe came undone for, at least for Piastri, I think, because he'd been looking quite strong, and then all of a sudden he was actually behind Norris in the end.
Yeah. Also kind of, like, mixed starting grid for the sprint race, because obviously we had Hamilton taking the pole.
Yeah.
And then we had Antonelli in 2nd, Verstappen in 3rd, Leclerc in 4th, Russell in 5th, Norris in 6th, Piastri in 7th, Hadjar in 8th, Lawson in 9th, and Lindblad in 10th place.
Which I think it says a lot, I think, about Lindblad and Lawson. Like, they've been consistently, I think, in the top 10 for a couple of races now. Yeah. But Lindblad was, I think, 4/10 behind Lawson, so that is very interesting.
Yeah.
When you look at, like, this whole lineup, because I think that's almost as big of a deficit as it was between 1st and 9th.
Yeah. True.
Because, like, from Hamilton down to Lawson, I think it was 5/10. So, definitely a lot. It feels like it's gotten a lot tighter.
Yeah.
Or is it just me? I just feel like the top 10 has gotten quite a bit closer, I think.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, that's going to be interesting to follow it, see if that happens in the main qualifying as well. And interesting to see if any of this grid really changes in the sprint, because, like, I think last year we struggled a lot with people not being able to, like, do anything really. Like, there were maybe 1 pass on the start, and then they became kind of stagnant. But we've had, I think, a bit more dynamic racing this year. So interesting to see how that's going to pan out in the sprint as well.
Yeah, and we'll see you after the sprint race.
So the British sprint race is done and dusted.
Yeah.
We're back, and what do we have to talk about? Apparently, I think Williams were doing some sort of changes, because they, like, basically sacrificed Albon's car, I guess, to do some changes in order to maybe uncover some sort of performance.
Yeah.
Which I really hope they do, but yeah, that was quite sad to see, actually. But also really good to do that in, like, for the sprint race and not for the main race, because of course you lost. You're gonna lose more points doing that sort of thing in the main race.
Williams wouldn't be in the points anyway.
Not in the sprint race.
No,
definitely not in the sprint race.
True.
So, yeah, what do we have to say about this race? I think we've seen something that we have seen a lot this year, the flip-flopping. But I think in the beginning you don't have as much of an advantage with all the, like, the overtake mode and the boost. So I think we saw some actually good quality passes. in the beginning, like people going offline and like trying to go into like on the inside and outside, trying to pass. But then we of course saw, I think closer to the end of the race, we saw a lot of like almost highway passes, like they because people were deploying on different parts of the circuit, and then like for example the Mercedes were just passing, like I think Kimi had one pass where it just looked like he was like levitating or something, because it was not even funny.
It's a lot of that. Didn't happen so much.
Interesting start.
Yeah.
Since I think Leclerc and Verstappen lost, so the McLaren drivers were up actually a couple of positions in the beginning, and they managed to do some crazy things. Norris even got past Antonelli at one point, I think.
It was in second.
And then Russell, who had lost a couple of places from the McLarens passing him, I think, managed to go past Norris and Piastri like very quickly after each other. It was looking crazy for for Russell.
People were like passing, and then the others repassed them, and there was much flip-flopping.
At one point I was not even sure, basically. I think I knew who was leading, but I wasn't sure about like the rest from like third place down to seventh. I was like,
we were just like screaming, Antonelli is passing Leclerc. That didn't happen, but we were just sitting there screaming what happened.
Yeah, it was crazy. Also, we've said a couple of times, we don't want the flip-flopping where it's like basically just passing for passing's sake, and they managed to go back on all those things. But in the end, I think they managed to extend the distances between them. But I think it was, now I'm unsure who it was. I think it was Russell, Verstappen, and Leclerc, right?
Yeah.
Who had some sort of like Verstappen and Russell were fighting, and then that made like that allowed for Leclerc to get closer, which was really interesting, because then you saw when Russell had passed Verstappen, Verstappen and Leclerc got to fighting, and that is, I think, the good thing. Like we want that kind of close racing. We don't want them to like just keep like two people just passing each other. But if it can lose some time and we can see other people getting into the mix, and like the distance is closing up. And opening, closing up and opening. I think that makes for interesting racing.
True.
So I think we really want more action, of course, in tomorrow's race than was in this race. But at the same time, we want a high quality racing.
Yeah. I honestly don't want a race that is just like happening things in the end or in the beginning.
Yeah.
I want like small things happening all the time.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I think otherwise it becomes quite boring. I think last year we had a feeling of that because we had a lot of things were happening in the pit stops.
Yeah.
Because basically people were just following behind each other, like not being able to do anything. I think also very interesting, Perez managed to cause some sort of incident with Alonso.
I think it was a collision, if I'm not
I think
mistaken.
Alonso spun actually.
Yeah, it was
and he got 10 seconds for that.
Yeah, Perez got 10 seconds.
There are usually not a lot of things happening in a sprint race, but like the fact that they managed to go like to crash with a shutter, or like Perez obviously crashed into Alonso, like that's almost impressive.
Yeah. Also, speaking of like Aston Martin, Lance Stroll went in to the pits and took a pit stop with, I think, 2 laps left of the sprint race.
I never noticed what came of that. Did he retire?
No, he didn't.
No, he
kept
didn't.
Driving, but I don't really get what he did.
They were practicing for the race, I guess.
Yeah, something
I don't know.
that.
Not that they're gonna be able to do anything.
They like probably understood they won't get any points anyway, so they're just trying to handle the car or something. I don't know.
Yeah, very strange.
It's Aston Martin. We don't always have an explanation for their actions.
Let's just hope for their sake that the upgrades they're bringing, like for the next coming races, I think, let's just hope for their sake that that brings them at least a bit closer to at least Cadillac. Because what are they doing behind Cadillac? That doesn't make any sense.
No, but also what is happening with Cadillac, because they have 0 points in the standings, both of them. Well, Alonso has 1 point.
I don't even...
Also,
how is it even possible that he's gotten a point this year?
That's crazy. I don't remember that. But it's also crazy because last year's Grand Prix in Silverstone, Lance Stroll, I believe, was in 5th place or 6th place.
Yeah, wasn't that the crazy race where it
people were
rained?
tired and it was...
Or was it rain?
Wasn't it foggy, at least?
There was some sort of issue, at least, with
because
the visibility.
otherwise Lance Stroll wouldn't be so high up.
No, it was just... Yeah, it was crazy, because I think that's also the race that Hulkenberg
He
got the 3rd place, I think.
Exactly.
I don't know what this means for tomorrow. I'm still hoping for my my predictions to come in. I'm hoping for an Antonelli pole. Hoping for George Russell win, so I can check off one of my bingo predictions, I guess. Which is a British driver winning the British Grand Prix. So it could also be Hamilton. Like Norris.
Yeah.
Like
Oliver
that won't happen. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just hope for some interesting quali, interesting race.
Some interesting things happening in the championship.
Definitely. Yeah, because now I think Kimi got a few points on George, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, he got a point on Hamilton as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's not so many points, so
he's extending.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see, of course, what happens in the race. And before that, what happens in the quali. So we'll see you guys after the quali.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're back from main race quali.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that we really need to speak about was, I think, George going off.
Yeah, he went in Q1. He went into the gravel way.
Yeah, and this looked really weird because we were talking about this as we did our live.
Yeah,
that we did. We said that it was looking quite weird because the tire started like almost turning in. So I thought maybe the suspension had broken even before he touched with the wall.
Yeah.
But apparently no, that was just some sort of a lockup thing. And then he actually had slowed down enough that he didn't get any extensive damage hitting the wall.
Yeah.
And then the issue became, would he be able to go into the pits and fix the issue
and continue
and be able to set a time, which he eventually did.
Yeah.
So for this session, the people who went out was Ocon, Bottas, Colapinto, Perez, Stroll, and Alonso. I don't think there's much to say about that except for maybe fun to see. But Colapinto obviously had a moment where he went off track. I think it was a Beckett's or something like that. But anyway, the thing was that it was actually one Alpine and one Haas this time. We've had like 3 teams going out in Q1. It's been like very common occurrence this year. So yeah, interesting to see some other sort of organization.
Yeah, true.
Of them.
Also, like, good work of Bottas, but because he ended
between Ocon and Colapinto.
Yeah, but at the same time, Colapinto did a mistake, or he had so it makes sense.
Also, Stroll out-qualified Alonso. I don't know, something good for all the Stroll fans.
There doesn't exist. We're not sure if there is any Aston Martin fans at all.
So, I think in the second session, I remember Max had... It sounded like he might have an engine problem. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Hadjar was also ahead of Verstappen, if I'm not mistaken, in this. Which actually, in the end, he actually managed to out-qualify Max on the whole. So, but we don't know if that's due to maybe Max having some sort of engine issue.
But still good, to be honest.
Ferrari were looking strong as well.
Yeah.
Russell was like gaining some confidence back, I think, in Q2 as compared to Q1. McLaren though it's been a kind of weird weekend for McLaren.
Yeah. They haven't been having any pace.
No, it's been looking really strange. Also, I remember George said something about needing a spare seat.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what that was like. What was wrong there?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I was so like focused on our live stream that I didn't really catch everything that happened.
I think Piastri was also close to being eliminated in this session as well. Norris was even farther down if I remember correctly, because I think he was in like 9th or something.
Yeah.
I think we were looking at the timing and really trying to see if he was going to be able to go through.
It's crazy.
But in the end, the people who were actually knocked out was Bortoleto, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Behrman, Sainz, and Albon. So basically the Audis, Gasly, Behrman, and then Williams.
Yeah.
Which I'm not very surprised about this. Seems kind of okay.
Yeah.
Bortoleto keeps out qualifying Hülkenberg.
Everything is as
everything is as it's always been. I was gonna say, but at least for this year.
Yeah.
So then we had the Racing Bulls, the Mercedes, the Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull. These were like the 5 teams left.
Yeah.
For Q3.
Obviously.
And I didn't like this because I think Oscar was the first to go.
Yeah.
And we were looking at the times, and I remember that I said, well, it's not a bad time as compared to his first times, but I don't think it's anywhere near where he needs to be, because if I remember correctly, it was a 1:29.2 or something, and I think Max or maybe Kimi had done like a 1:28.8 or something before. So I said that was already 4/10 down. And then this is, of course, where they usually turn up the pace even more.
Yeah.
So I was a bit scared about this, and in the end, as we saw, it didn't go as good for Piastri as I would have hoped. And Lindblad was very slow out. I remember as well, which was looking quite. Yeah, it was a very weird move. They were quite a bit behind the rest.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happening there. I think that in the end there wasn't really much to comment on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically Antonelli managed to actually take it, even though Hamilton and Leclerc had been looking strong, which earns me a point in the predictions. But let's see what they can do about that in the race. I don't think there's really much to add on to, except for maybe, Hadjar out qualifying Verstappen,
as we said,
and keeping an eye out for McLaren, because I don't know what they were doing here. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse, but
Also, interesting thing is that Charles Leclerc qualified in P2, right?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, seeing as he's crashed out 2 times or like in a row in previous races. Yeah, this is a good upgrade for him for sure. He's starting.
And also we didn't talk about this, but I think Gasly has earned a grid penalty for
3 places.
For what was it?
Wasn't it impeding on Stroll?
Yeah. Now I remember. Yeah.
So he ended up in 15th place, I believe. He separated the Williams cars, right?
And Lindblad got noted for unsafe release, I think, as well, with Piastri, that weird instance that we saw on the TV as well. I think that's mostly it for this session. Good on the RBs for being within top 10 again. But except for that, we'll just have to see what happens in the race.
Yeah, just wait and see.
So see you guys then. So now we watched the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like when we compare it to, I think, the sprint yesterday. There was a lot happening in the sprint in the beginning, and it was like kind of similar today, but it was not as chaotic, I think. Like they weren't flip-flopping as much
Yeah,
in
true.
the beginning. What we saw in this beginning was that Kimi actually had quite a bad start.
Yeah.
Which I think, I don't want to call it a pattern, but it's been, he's been struggling with this
Yeah.
throughout the year.
Isn't it like both Mercedes that have been struggling? Maybe it's just Kimi. I don't know.
I think extra much for Kimi.
Extra much for
Yeah.
Kimi.
So Hamilton and Leclerc managed to get past, which I think really gave them an advantage.
Yeah.
Because then they could like deploy Hamilton basically as like a barrier to Leclerc. What else do we think happened here? We saw a quick yellow flag for Behrman going off because of Albon, seemingly. And then I think around, there was something with Lawson and Piastri, which actually really, really destroyed his race.
Yeah, Piastri's race, yeah.
Because
we
I
didn't
think
see anything.
I think actually, no, we didn't get a playback, but in the end, I think he ended up in like, was it 13 or something
yeah, it was
like
outside
that?
a point at least.
So outside the points, just because he got some sort of damage that actually dropped him very far down. I think he got, like we saw on the playbacks, that his nose, like the front wing, was almost like askew. It was like really,
right.
It was looking really weird. It looked like the whole like wing part had just like broken off and was like sitting in opposition to the nose somehow.
Yeah.
So really sad to see that, because I don't think like they would have wanted it to go even worse. Because when we compare it to, obviously, to Norris, which after all the things that happened, he actually managed to get up to a 4th place.
Which isn't bad.
Which is really good considering like all the things. But like to think that maybe Oscar could have had at least a like 6th place or something like that. It's really sad to see something take him out on the first laps.
True.
But that was most of like the I think incidents that happened in the beginning, at least.
Yeah.
Albon got a 10-second penalty for his crash with Behrman.
Also, Hamilton got 5 seconds for moving before signal.
Yeah.
In the start.
Yeah. Basically a fake false start.
Yeah.
Which I think when you look at it, like the footage, like it seems pretty clear. Like it was a like pretty clear.
We don't talk
movement.
about it.
But yeah, also pretty sad. But I think in the whole scope of things, I don't think that he would have been able to do anything about Charles or Kimi for that reason.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that, like, he was lacking a bit. He was lacking pace a bit today, unfortunately. We also had some, like, Russell was reporting some sort of gearbox issues, possibly, but I don't think there was anything off that.
Yeah.
And Max was not having it today. Like, literally. He was angry already by lap 12. He was like, already for a few laps, I haven't said anything, but the downshifts are so... And then he said the S word, but I'm not going to say that here. But yeah, he was not having it with anything. And like, as we saw, that actually like, there was something wrong with the car that actually led him to get a really big snap and drive into the wall.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, so like there was certainly something that was off. Oscar, who had like gone in pretty early for that stop because he had to change the nose part because he was losing so much time.
Yeah.
He started to have graining on his hard tires really early, which was not good for his race either, because that he didn't manage to get through as much as he would have hoped. He was driving like a
Yeah.
madman, but then he just stopped because of all the greening. He was losing speed. And
Yeah.
really painful.
Also, today we saw pretty many, pretty many long pit stops.
A lot of long pit stops, yeah.
Like Hadjar, I believe, had one that were 4.3 seconds, right?
Yeah. And the Gasly had one that was 7.5. And then Albon, of course, he had already been in taking his long pit stop for the penalty. And then he had like, I think it was a 13-second pit stop.
I don't know what they did today with Albon.
No, it was looking quite a strange race for Albon as well.
In the end, didn't he have like 4 pit stops?
Yeah, he eventually retired. So,
Yeah.
like,
Spoiler alert again.
really strange.
Yeah.
We also got a VSC for an umbrella, which...
Also, yeah.
People, hold on to your umbrellas.
Also,
like,
Press
quite
and
literally.
Ocon went in during that really tiny VSC.
Yeah, I don't know if they gained anything on that. Actually, quite sad if they didn't gain anything, because they thought they would have gained anything, like something, but then obviously
It's
I don't
not
know.
worse than Kimi going in on a green flag, you know?
Yeah, no. Pain from last race.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were playing with quite a lot of different strategies as well during this race, because you had like, wasn't it Max that was in on laps 18 or something, and then I think Charles was in on a couple of laps after Hamilton and Russell, which was around like lap 24 to 26 they were in. So, and then Lindblad was in on lap 28, and Lando was in on 29. So like people were going very different like routes.
Also, like Antonelli, I think pitted in lap 35.
Yeah, really late.
Yeah, crazy.
So, but that's still within, I think, what they had predicted for the pit window.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, Max like going into pit earlier was really not within the pit window.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So they were just driving their own race. But anyway, after like a majority of these pit stops, when Hamilton went in and Russell went in straight after, because they were fighting, of course, for a position, we actually got to see a really crazy battle in Max and Beckett's between Hamilton and Russell. And it was so close, like the way that they were going up side by side.
Yeah, they were close.
And it was also really fun to follow, because they were giving each other space, but it was really exciting. And I think actually here we got another incident that was quite, I think maybe, I don't know if it was detrimental to Russell's race, but it really looked as if he was going to lose on this. And it was that he got a message of having a slow puncture on the rear of his car.
Yeah.
But Russell wanted it to monitor this, whereas Mercedes actually wanted to box him. But I think he stayed out for a lap, and then he, like, I don't know what happened here, but because he was fighting with Verstappen then, like he was driving a couple of laps, I think after Hamilton managed to get past him, if I'm not mistaken. So he was fighting actually with Verstappen around the time that he got this message. And this fight was also quite spicy, especially before he went into the pits.
Yeah.
And I think this was no further investigation on this incident in the end, but it was looking quite like scary. Like it was really close.
Definitely.
So Russell definitely involved in some like like weird battles today.
Yeah.
Actually, for a while he was battling with Antonelli as well. So yeah, definitely a sweaty day for Russell. Yeah, Antonelli also had some issues with his pit stop, because he was like, almost impeded in the fast lane. So that was also very interesting. I don't remember even who it was, but I don't think that person got any penalty.
Wasn't that Hulkenberg? Where am I?
I don't
I'm
remember
sure,
actually.
to be
But anyway, here, yeah, a couple of laps later, Hulkenberg actually stood still and caused the virtual safety car. Which is, funnily enough, not the last VSE that we got in this race. But anyway, Hulk caused a virtual safety car, which was, I think, not very long. It was a couple of laps. And Max and Lando just decided to box here. Hadger had another slow stop, 9.8 seconds. I think he might have changed his nose or something because it was really slow. And thinking about it, it's quite impressive that it actually ended up as like high up as he did in the end. Like,
seeing as his pit stop.
Yeah, I don't know what the pit stops were like. Yeah, really weird. And here, since there were a couple of people who actually went in and boxed, Leclerc, who was leading by this point, got a bit concerned about like what this would mean.
Because he had pretty old tires, right? Or not
Yeah.
like that old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were, I think, about 16 laps or something. But he was at mostly concerned as to maybe why Ferrari hadn't decided to beat him as well. But yeah, Stroll got a lot of track limits.
Yeah,
he got two track limits penalties for this race.
I don't really get how you can collect track limits penalties.
I'm very interested to know what
every day.
I'm very interested to know what was happening in the back, because like I don't know what it would even cause him to go so off track. Like
it's Lance Stroll, he can do anything. Honestly.
Anyway, then we come to the very exciting part of the race, because this is where the whole race complexion changed. Because Kimi was chasing down Charles, which I think that was also why Charles was a bit stressed about the pitting and stuff, because I think Antonelli pitted on lap 35, so he had 9. No, that's not right. I can't count. 11. He had 11 laps on Leclerc, basically. On like he was on 11 laps newer tires, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kimi got like a problem with his car. He just said, something's broken in the car, I don't know what it is. They went in to have a stop, and he went out and he still had issues. He thought maybe the suspension was broken or something, but Bono reported that it might be a wheel shield.
Yeah.
Which Kimi continues to drive here, and like it's really impressive that he actually decides to do that, and he gets the message that if he goes in, they could possibly pull it out.
Yeah.
And he had fallen here quite far down, but he was still within the points. So they go in, try to remove this thing. They do that, but like, it's not helping.
Something is still wrong.
But Kimi is like, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna keep going. And the sad thing about this is that because of him not being able to drive the car correctly, he's been off a couple of times.
Yeah.
And what he doesn't know here is that he's actually got 5 seconds for violating track limits. Limits.
And no one has told him. Like, poor Kimi.
But actually good on him for being so like tenacious and try to like go on. Just keep doing what he's doing. But really sad, And here something else happened. Because, like, Kimi having a problem with this car is not enough.
Of course it is.
Like, I was jinxing this because I was saying that, I think it was around lap 24 or something. I was like, this race is exciting. Like, we have a couple of battles. Not maybe what we wanted. We want to see more battling, but, like, it's fine. It's, like, it has some drama to it.
Yeah.
and then just things just explode in my face.
It's lovely.
As
Simply
they usually
lovely.
do. Verstappen goes off, as we've seen. It looked also really weird. He got some sort of snap. Yeah, he's angry. You can see it on the playback. He's throwing his steering wheel.
He did this in front of the Lando stand.
Yeah.
I don't know why I find that funny. Because last year, was it in Brazil? It was some place where I believe it was Max fans booing Lando when he was he winning? I don't know. It was something like that. Now he crashes out in front of the Lando stand. I'm sorry, but yeah.
I just felt with him because he had been pissed the whole race. So there was something definitely not wrong with not right with the car. And during this safety car that Max caused, Hadjar actually goes in and pits, and I think Leclerc and Hamilton pits as well because this is for a couple of laps. Russell and Norris decide to stay out, which eventually, when Hamilton comes out, means that he actually ends up behind Russell.
Yeah.
Which is huge because this could mean a couple of things. Do we get to restart the race? Then that doesn't really mean anything. Hamilton will have the chance to actually chase Russell and be able to like make up for this because he has newer tires.
Yeah.
And Leclerc has newer tires in the front as well, but of course they're soft, so they are a bit like sketchy when they're cold. But yeah, anyways, so we think that like that could be a possibility, but however, since he goes out behind Russell, if they don't get a restart, then he's lost a position going into pit.
Yeah.
Which we think when we see this, like, that we're gonna get some sort of restart. Because like they are like unlapping the cars and they are like sending out the safety car ending. But no, the safety car doesn't go in.
Yeah. Then they change from safety car ending to just basically safety car.
So we just go in during a safety car. Basically, we finish the race during a safety car.
Yeah.
Which means that Hamilton actually lost a position on Ferrari pitting him.
Yeah.
Which is really sad for Hamilton, I think, but it's actually very exciting for the championship.
Yeah, he also got a safety car infringement, which
investigation, but I don't think there was anything that came from that.
Yeah, not yet at least.
So maybe we should go into like what you feel about Ferrari podium. Because you haven't talked about this yet.
Charles Leclerc won the British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Like, no one understood it. I'm sorry, but this is crazy. He won his last Grand Prix. Was it Austin 2024.
Yeah, I think it was 2024.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's crazy.
It's almost been 2 years.
And now he won again. I'm so happy. And I can't stop laughing. I don't know why.
But it's really crazy to me because like it feels wrong.
Yeah.
To be honest, like it feels, because like I don't think like it feels wrong that he should do his comeback here. Like
just because you wanted a Brit on a podium.
No, it just feels wrong. Like it should be like it should have been like Monaco or should have been like.
But still Monza left. I mean, he maybe wins Monza as well. Also, so crazy, because what do you mean? It's hard to even think about because he has DNF'd 2 races in a row and then he comes back with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austria was in between, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
But this is just so crazy. Also, I got like a little box on my bingo. What's it called? Bingo card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which was a Ferrari double podium.
Yeah.
I'm just a bit lost right now, like in delusion. I haven't even prayed in my corner for Charles Leclerc. And then he throws this in my face.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy. I'm also like, this feels like a dream. You know?
Yeah. And
maybe you don't know because Piastri finished out of the points.
I am still not
retire.
over that. I'm still not over the fact that Piastri ended up outside of the points. But anyways, I think we should talk about what this means for the championship.
Yeah.
Because like
Sure, check the standings.
yeah, so for like in this case, we had of course Hamilton after Russell, which I think he was already behind. No, was he in front of Russell? No, he was behind Russell. I'm pretty sure he was behind Russell actually. And then I think Russell managed to gain some points in...
No, this can't be right, the point.
What do you mean?
I think he...
Why can't that
because
be
he
right?
was... Yeah, I'm sorry. Everybody.
Yeah, so in the end...
I'm sorry.
In the end, I think, because of this result and Antonelli basically DNFing because he ended up outside of the points after his 5-second penalty for track limits put him like outside the top 10 because he ended up in P9. This actually means that that George Russell is just 25 points behind Kimi Antonelli in the championship.
That's a win and a DNF for Kimi then.
But that doesn't even need to happen. I think how many races are there left? This was
It was
9.
Yeah,
I think so. Like think that we had 22 this year. That would be, but that is if there's not 3 races that.
No,
say 2. 3. Say.
Isn't it just Abu Dhabi and Qatar? Or are they talking about?
Okay. Anyway, say there's like 2 races removed from those already 22. Then that's 20, and 9 have already passed. Mm-hmm. So that's 11 races basically. Like he has to like take an average of what if we say 25 points. That's like literally an average of more than 2 points on Kimi each weekend.
For the rest of the races.
Yeah,
but also if Kimi keeps winning, this won't happen.
Yeah. There's if Kimi keeps winning.
But also he's been having 2 DNFs
but
now, right?
More than 3 weekends of George like finishing ahead of Kimi, 1-2, would end up with him being in front of Kimi.
Yeah.
4 weekends with him being in front of Kimi.
That's crazy.
1-2. So like that's not a lot.
Yeah, true.
So, like, I'm not ready to count George out. Maybe the universe has played a bit into his hands here. Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
And then you have Lewis Hamilton behind George Russell. I think he's 7 points behind. So, he's still, like, a good 32 points behind Kimi. So, that's a big stretch, I think, because we've seen Mercedes they've been so dominant.
Yeah.
So I don't really think they have a chance there. But definitely spices up the possibility of like a championship fight.
True. This is interesting.
But at the same time, we can't count out like George having some sort of issue either.
Yeah. I was gonna check the Constructors' Championship.
They're clearing away.
Yeah, there's not really happened anything there.
No, it's basically pretty similar to what it's always been.
Yeah, Alpine and Racing Wolves are 1 point apart.
And that's, I think, mostly because of the results Racing Bulls have been putting in lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We didn't talk about them now, but I think in the end, I know one of them was in the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I think that would be... I think it was like P... Because I know that Colapinto got a point, or 2 points.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. So I think he got 9th. But I think one of them at least was ahead of Colapinto.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, definitely it's going better for them as well. Maybe they can catch Alpine.
Yeah.
Actually, we haven't talked about Colapinto. Like,
he was driving like Mad Max today.
Like
the fact not like bad Max, you know. Yeah, he was
The
just
fact that he
very
actually
good.
somehow, with like a combination of strategy and just good driving, managed to get up to a 10th place from starting 19th. No, 9th.
Yeah, he
9th in the
climbed
end.
10 places.
Basically.
Positions.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's like a really good result, I think.
He should be proud.
Yeah. Because of course it was looking quite dark.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to our incident of the day?
Yeah.
What's your incident of the day?
I mean, there wasn't like that many. It wasn't a few incidents, but oh god, so hard to pick because on one hand I want to choose like Hamilton going into the pits, but that's not like even an incident.
Hamilton going into the pits.
Yeah, not like all the time, but when he went in and lost the position to Russell.
Oh,
But
yeah.
maybe, yeah, that's a weak incident. So I'm gonna pick Antonelli. Because
Yeah.
I feel so bad for him, because that kid, I like that I call him kid, but yeah. He felt so bad, and he was like, I'm gonna try to get 1 point for the team, or like, yeah, he did his best, but unfortunately the car wasn't carring. So, yeah.
I think for my part, I think it might be Verstappen actually. Because that also changed some things around.
True.
And had they decided to go racing on that last lap, it could have been so exciting. Which I feel like we were robbed. Like, that would have been such an interesting last lap.
Yeah, but I want Charles Leclerc to win. So...
Well, I wanted Russell to win,
I
so...
know. I mean, I would have gained a point, but you would have gained 2 points.
But also, I would have like been able to cross something off on my bingo card as well, and also like he would have come even closer to Kimi than he did in the end. So like I think had that moment happened maybe a couple of laps earlier, we could have gotten a like fully different like reignition of the race.
But also like a fun fact about this that is worth mentioning is that this was George's first like podium on the British Grand Prix. Like he's standing on the podium for the first time at Silverstone.
Which was really special.
Yeah, it was really special and really nice to see.
Okay, should we move on to radio of the day?
Yeah. Do you want to start?
I want to start. It's really hard because I think that I liked Kimi's like the pleading, like that he really wanted to go in for this like thing, but I actually also really liked Max when he was like, well, I haven't complained about this for a couple of laps, but it's actually been an issue. Because it feels like so pity. Like it feels like he's like the pressure has been building within the car, and he just had to say something.
Definitely.
And I just recognize myself in that sometimes. Sometimes you get so frustrated that it just bubbles over. Do you have anything you want to like highlight?
Yeah, it was kind of fun when Lewis said, did I see the strategy?
Yeah.
Like, strategy next 2 laps, I need max power.
He was not having it. It was going pretty slow.
He needed the power. And also kind of fun when Antonelli said, don't let other people undercut me, to Bono.
He was a bit stressed there.
Yeah.
I think also shout out to Lindblad when he said, can you tell him being Liam Lawson, can you tell him to hurry up, please? Like trying to hassle him into moving quite like more quickly.
Oh my god.
Because like I feel like he has what most I think like Red Bull or RB drivers, which is like they have a certain fire to them.
Yeah.
They're a bit like fiery as people, and I think that was his frustration, just like bubbling up and coming through. Like
it's crazy.
It wasn't like I'm much quicker. It was like, can you please tell him to hurry up? Which is kind of a brother move, to be honest. Like, it feels like they're brothers. Like, can you please tell him to not stand in the shower for 5 minutes?
Yeah, they seem like brothers for sure.
Okay, who's our driver of the day?
Do we have like one together or do we have separate ones?
Separate ones, of course. We always do separate ones. What's that question?
Just wondering, I'm sorry. Mine is... Oh my god. Is it now I just go for like Oscar Piastri? No, I'm just kidding. I'm choosing...
You can't beat me like that. Stop it.
I'm choosing Colapinto because obviously he gained 10 positions, which is really good.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sorry, but I don't remember.
And
where
also,
Russell
he
started.
forgot his phone in the toilet.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But alright, where did even Russell start? And which position?
Fourth?
How was it?
I'm unsure, but I think it was fourth.
Yeah, also good work, Russell.
Yeah, definitely. But you said
Colapinto
then.
But I just wanted to mention Russell.
I think for me, this is really hard as well. Oh, this is so painful. Because like, I kind of like there were kind of a lot of drivers that I want to like highlight, but also like good on Norris to be able to keep it together and manage fourth place.
Yeah. Gaining some points from McLaren since his teammate is...
But I think like you can't really overlook Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Because he was actually at some points he was actually I really think it is Charles Leclerc, because like at some points he was like pulling away not only from Hamilton but also from Antonelli. Like he was keeping the distance pretty like equal throughout. I think maybe 10 laps.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like Kimi got like an advantage with the tires that he really started to put pressure on Charles.
Yeah.
And I think Charles said that in his interview as well, that Kimi was really fast and he was gaining really fast and it would be like hard to defend against him. But I think that he was actually driving quite well. And I don't think I would have expected that, because I just feel like he's been lacking a bit of performance. Or he's just had, like, I think, a bad run of form.
Yeah.
So to be able to just mentally reload and go to this kind of victory and actually don't fumble it, good on Charles.
True.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening this weekend, and we'll be back for the next race, which is Spa, right?
And it's 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks until we talk to you next, which is really sad.
For both of us. Like, for you listeners and for us. Also, it will be the Spa race. Like the race we were at last year.
Yeah.
So this will be...
It will, like, literally be a year since we were there.
That's crazy.
But anyway, we'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.